The Maharashtra Public Service Commission Rajyaseva Prelims exam for 2025 year is about to be conducted on this 28th September Sunday. And as far as you know, how the previous year question paper is so many important and considered as gold mine for the next year's question, we have already done the video of 2021, 2022, 2023 previous year question paper analysis of polity section, and the videos are uploaded on our YouTube channel. We will do today the analysis of year 2024 question paper and the polity section. Let's have a look at it. I am Akshay Thakur and welcome you to the Ekagra Academy's YouTube channel. Let's have a look at the question paper of 2024, the polity section. The questions were asked between the question number 56 to question number 70. The first question of polity section is directive principles is a novel feature in a constitution framed for parliamentary democracy. They have no binding force, but whoever captures power will not be free to do what he likes with it. He will have to respect the directive principles. He cannot ignore them. He may not have to answer for their breach in court of law, but he will certainly have to answer them before the electorate at election time. And who gave them this statement has been given: Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, B.N. Rao, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, or K.M. Munshi. So as if you know, and if you have thoroughly read this Constituent Assembly topic, this thing about the DPSPs was said by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. He was given this statement and it was about DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. We call it as राज्याच्या धोरणाचे मार्गदर्शक तत्वे in Marathi. Next question, consider the following statements about the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, that means CAG, and what we have to find out is about the correct statements. So we will have a look at the correct statements. He holds office during the pleasure of President. He draws the same salary as Supreme Court judge. Before entering upon his office, he swears an oath or affirmation before Chief Justice of India. And D, he may be removed by the President only after inquiry by the Supreme Court. A, B, C, D, these four statements were given, and which of the statements are true have been asked. So only B and D is correct statements. He holds office during pleasure of President. No, this is totally wrong statement. If we had done the previous year question paper analysis of year 22 and 23, we must remember how the question on CAG were even asked in those question papers also. So that's why the CAG was important topic, and that's why if students have thoroughly read about the CAG topic, they may answer it very swiftly. B and D stands correct. C also stands incorrect because it is A is not about the pleasure of President. He has the secure tenure for his post and can be only removed by the process which is as similar to as the removal of Supreme Court judge and not so easy. And C, before entering upon his office, he swears an oath and affirmation before the Chief Justice of India. These statements also stand incorrect because he stands oath or affirmation before the President and not before the Chief Justice of India. So that's why A and C were wrong, B and D were only correct statement. So that's why this answer option number 4 stands correct. B and D, A and C are wrong statements. Let's go to the next question. Who among the following was the first chairperson of the National Commission for Women? As I have said earlier when we were teaching the topic of commissions and constitutional bodies, the first chairperson, the very famous chairperson who did a prominent work and who is the recent chairperson, who is the recent president of that commission or constitutional body, must be remembered and must be read before the exam. So if we have read about the National Commission for Women, which is a very significant body in our central commissions, the Jayanti Patnaik stands the right answer. If you look at the other options, those are all Dr. Purnima Advani, Dr. V. Mohanigiri, Vibha Parthasarthi, were all the presidents of or chairpersons of this National Commission for Women. But the first one was asked, which is the answer, Jayanti Patnaik. National Commission for Women was established in the year January 1992, was established under an act passed by Parliament in India in 1990. Let's have a look at the next question. Which article of the Indian Constitution empowers the Parliament of India to create or abolish legislative councils if the Legislative Assembly of the state passes a resolution to that effect? And which of the articles related to that was asked? So Article 169 is the right answer. If you have thoroughly read Article 169, because Legislative Council has been important and hot topic since last many previous year for this. So if you must read the Legislative Council and if you read it, you will easily answer that it is Article 169. What Article 169 states that the Indian Constitution specifically empowers the Parliament of India to create or abolish legislative councils in state. This power can be exercised if the legislative assembly of that respective state passes a resolution to that effect by a special majority. A special majority, which means a majority of the total membership of the House and the majority of not less than two-thirds of the members of the House present and voting on that resolution. Article 168 deals with the constitution of legislature in states, stating that some states will have a bicameral legislature, means legislative assembly, and also legislative council. Article 167 outlines the duties of the chief minister in relation to furnishing information to the governor, and Article 166 pertains to the conduct of business of the government of state. These were the explanation of other articles that were mentioned in the option. So we must not forget that that's how we should do the analysis of PSU question paper. So if we even take out the answer, that Article 169 is the answer, but Article 168, 166 and 167 must also overlook that what they are related about. They may frame the next year's question in the exam. According to the provision of which article of the Constitution can be the President of India ask for advice from the Supreme Court? This very question was asked in the year 2023 in a different manner, and again this has been asked. So Article 143 is the right answer for it. So that's why I'm again telling you previous year question paper analysis is so much important than revising the actual data. So you must not forget doing previous year question analysis. Other articles, Article 142, 147, 145 have been also given. They must be also thoroughly learned that what they are related about. 61 question, which of the following provisions were made by the 44th Amendment Act of 1978? Provided for creation of All India Judicial Service, empowered the President to send back once the advice of the Cabinet for reconsideration, provided that the fundamental rights guaranteed by Article 20 and 21 cannot be suspended during the national emergency, and shifted 5 subjects from state list to the concurrent list. These have been the 4 subjects, these have 4 statements have been given, and which of the correct have been asked. So the only option stands correct are B and C are correct, otherwise all of the subjects are wrong. Let's have a look where the B and C has been given. Option 4, B and C stands correct here. Which of the following committees contains representatives of both the houses of parliament? A. Committees on welfare of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, Committee on empowerment of women, Business Advisory Committee, D. Committee on privileges, and E. Estimates Committee. These 5 committees have been given, and which of the following committees contain a representative of both the house has been question asked. So if you remember, A and B are the correct committees where representative from both the houses, means Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, both these houses constitute this committee. Both the houses members come here a long way to create these committees, while the C, D and E option given, Business Advisory Committee, Committee on Privileges and Estimates Committee, do not form the committees together. Let's have a look how they are made. The Business Advisory Committee mentioned in the option C. These are separate business advisory committees for each of the house, and not equally, not coming together as Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha as mentioned in the question, as asked in the question. So these committees separate for each of the house. So this C stands incorrect. D. Committee on privileges. The committee exists separately for each of the houses to deal with the matter of privileges concerning the members of both the houses, and again not jointly. This committee is not joined by both the houses and not formed by both the houses. Estimates committee, these estimate committee is exclusively for Lok Sabha and does not form in the Rajya Sabha. So the Rajya Sabha member does not come in picture of this committee. So that's why C, D and E options, the committee's name were given, were not forming the 2 houses together committee. So that's why only A and B is correct. Only A and B. So that's why option number 4. Let's go to the next question. The National Commission for Scheduled Caste (NCSC) is constituted by which of the article? Again, if we remember the year 2021, 2022 and 23, in these previous 3 question paper, in these previous 3 years, twice this article 338 National Scheduled Caste has been asked. So if we have done the thorough study of this previous year question paper, the thorough analysis of this previous year question paper, we can easily answer this question as Article 338 NCSC is related about, and NCST National Commission for Scheduled Tribes is now 338A NCST. Earlier, this NCSE, which is now only 338, was earlier together NCSC and ST was together 338. Later, it got separated. NCSE got 338 and NCST got 338, which was later made as a new article. On 13 December 1946, who moved the objective resolution in the Constituent Assembly of India? Sucheta Kripalani, Sarojini Naidu, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, or Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So, if we know, we have done this topic very detailed manner. The objective resolution, which we know as in Marathi Uddishtancha Tharav, was the idea of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and he moved the objective resolution in the Constituent Assembly of India. And if you have a look at this date, it is totally irrelevant in this question. The date has no work to do in this question, as still it was given to confuse some of the candidates, but the date is not factual due to this question. Okay, if Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru named objective resolution in Constituent Assembly of India, on which date have been question asked, then it would have been a really difficult question. But the commission really wanted to give you the 2 marks for this such a simple, straightforward one-liner question. The answer stands Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He was the one who proposed the idea of this objective resolution, Uddishtancha Tharav, which later came to be known as preamble of our Indian Constitution, भारतीय घटनेची प्रस्तावना ज्याला आपण म्हणतो. Next question, consider the following statements. The no person shall be prosecuted and punished for the same offense more than once, including any departmental proceedings. Okay. Statement B, the protection against self-incrimination extends to both oral evidence and documentary evidence. Statement C, the protection against self-incrimination extends to both criminal and civil proceedings. A, B, and C statements have been given, and which of the statements are correct have been asked. So let's have a look. A stands incorrect, C stands incorrect, only B is the correct statement. So statement B is correct, is given in option number 2. Statement B is correct, option number 2. Why A and C are incorrect? The principle of double jeopardy against being prosecuted and punished for the same offense more than once applies to judicial proceedings, yes, but generally does not extend to departmental or administrative proceedings. A person can be subject to both criminal prosecution and departmental inquiry for the same act done by him. Statement B is correct. The protection against self-incrimination enshrined in Article 23 of the Indian Constitution states that no person accused of any offense shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. This protection extends to both oral and documentary evidences, meaning a person cannot be forced to provide statements or documents that would incriminate them. Yes, let's have a look at the next statement. Statement C is incorrect. Why? The protection against self-incrimination primarily applies to criminal proceedings, while there might be some overlap or specific provisions in civil law. The fundamental constitutional protection is designed for individual accused of a criminal offense and does not generally extend to civil proceedings. So that's why only B was correct. Let's have a look at the next question. Consider the following statements and choose the correct option. 3 statements have been given. The special provisions for Nagaland are made in Article 371A. Yes, correct. No act of the Parliament in respect to the religious or social practices of Nagas can be applied without the approval of Legislative Assembly of Nagaland. Yes, this statement also stands correct. And Tuensang is the most developed district of Nagaland. The statement C stands incorrect because Tuensang might be a famous district in the Nagaland, but it is not the most developed as it has been mentioned in the statement. So only A and B are correct. Option A and B are correct is given in the option number 1. Statements A and B are only correct options. Next question is, which of the following is not a Panchashil principle of India's foreign policy? Panchashil principle, famously known, it is a policy decided by Minister of External Affairs on grounds of India and China, and how they follow it and how they provide it to each other. It is called as Panchashil principle, which is between India and China. Let's have a look. What are the options given? Mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Yes, this stands correct. This is a part of it. Mutual non-interference, this also stands part of it. Peaceful coexistence is also part of this Panchashil principle. So the right answer for this is none of the above. This stands correct. Option 4, let's have a look what is the Panchashil principle. Panchashil principle, also known as five principles of peaceful coexistence, form a cornerstone of India's foreign policy, particularly emphasized during the Cold War era. These principles were first formally enacted in the 1954 agreement between India and China. The five principles of Panchashil are mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. This principle emphasizes respecting the boundaries and independent governance of the nations. Mutual non-aggression, the principle advocates for refraining from any form of aggression or use of forces against other nations. As I said, it was happened between 1954 agreement between India and China. Remember this fact, they might frame a next year's question. It was emphasized between the Cold War era, and it is known as the cornerstone of India's foreign policy. These are called five principles, which is famously known as Panchashil principles. Remember this fact. Next are mutual non-interference in each other's internal affairs. That's also a part of it. This principle stresses respecting the internal affairs of other countries and not intervening in their domestic matters. Equality and mutual benefit. This principle promotes equal and mutually beneficial relationships between these nations. And peaceful coexistence, again, it is a part of it. This principle highlights the importance of maintaining peaceful relations and resolving conflicts through diplomatic means and diplomatic channels. Since all the options listed, mutual respect for each other and all these things are indeed Panchashil principles, the correct answer is none of the above is not a Panchashil principle. Let's have a look at the next question. Consider the following statements and choose the correct option. We have asked correct options to be chosen. The subject cooperative societies has been included in the Constitution of India by 97th Amendment Act 2011. Let's mark this factual data. The right to establish cooperative society is given in Article 19(1) Clause C. The first law related to the cooperative societies in India was passed in the tenure of Lord Curzon. The first act, they say, cooperative societies in India was passed. So let's have this factual data. All these three statements stands correct. So that's why all of the above option is given in. All of the three statements are correct. Option number 4. All these facts are correct and right. Next question is, which one of the following statements about dismissal or removal of persons employed in civil capacities under the Union or State Article 311 is not correct? We have been asked to which is not correct. Protection under Article 311 is not available to military personnel. The employees of statutory corporations such as the LIC, ONGC are not entitled to the protection of Article 311. The provisions of Article 311 are applicable to permanent civil servants only and not to temporary servants. Suspension of government servant from service is neither dismissal nor removal and is not within the scope of protection of Article 311. So if you remember, Article 311 is not available to military personnel. Yes, this statement stands true. The employee of statutory corporations such as LIC, ONGC are not entitled to protection of Article 311. This statement also stands true. The provisions of the Article 311 are applicable to only permanent civil servants and not to temporary. This statement stands incorrect because it is not only for permanent but it is also for permanent and non-permanent, or as we call temporary people. So this statement stands incorrect. Suspension of government servant from service is neither dismissal nor removal of any within the scope of protection Article 311. These statements also stand correct. So we were asked which is incorrect. So that's why this statement number 3 is incorrect over here. Let's have a look at the next question. Consider the following statements and we have been asked to look at the correct option. A panel of chairpersons is elected by the Lok Sabha from amongst its members. A member of the panel of chairpersons can preside over Lok Sabha when the office of the speaker or deputy speaker is vacant. In absence of the speaker and member of the panel of chairpersons, the speaker's duties are to be performed by a member appointed by the president. And which of the statements are correct have been asked. So let's have a look. A panel of chairperson is elected by the Lok Sabha from among its members. A member of the panel of chairpersons can preside over the Lok Sabha when the office of chairperson is vacant. No, it cannot be when it is vacant, only in the case of absence. So that's why only option A is correct over here, B is wrong because of this it should not be written as vacant, it should be has been absence. In absence of the speaker, the deputy speaker and member of the panel of chairpersons. In absence of all of these, the speaker's duties are to be performed by a member appointed by the president. So that's why these A and C stands over correct here. So explanation A is incorrect, B is correct, and option C is also incorrect, because in the absence of both the speaker and deputy speaker, and if no member of panel of chairperson is available to preside, then a member appointed by president suppose performs the duties of a speaker. The statement is incorrectly implied that the president appoints someone to perform the speaker's duties even when a member of panel of chairperson is available. That's why B and C stands incorrect. Option 1 only A is correct over for this question. Thank you for all. We have already done the 2021, 2022, 2023 and 2024 previous question papers analysis of the polity section. You may find the same videos, same analysis in the Marathi language, and these are the English language. We have already done the other languages too, other topics too. Let's have a look at those Ekagra Academy's YouTube channel and visit those videos and like and share and subscribe to it. Thank you.